I'm up in beautiful Red Feather Lakes, Colorado, working on a cabin up here, bathroom remodel, and just thought I would share some thoughts that I had. It's a Saturday and I'm working. I usually don't work on Saturdays, but I took a day off this week, and so here I am. But it was getting me thinking about the different philosophies that business owners have, and I was, kind of thinking about these two main philosophies. One you might call the Grindset philosophy, which is grind as hard as you can. The goal of a business is to make as much money as possible. And so the goal really should be sacrifice everything on the altar of growing a business. And then the other mindset you might call business serving your life. The purpose of the business isn't to be an end in itself, but it's to serve something higher than it, whether that's giving you freedom, time off, time with your family, whatever that might look like for you. I think that it's a different way of looking at business. So a little bit of my story. I actually never wanted to get into business ownership. It was something that I kind of ended up falling into. And then since I've been in it, I've really found that I love a lot about it, mainly the freedom that it gives me. Now, what I was nervous about when I was getting into business and before I was in business, and the reason that I didn't want to get into business was because I didn't want to fall into that grind set mentality. My dream was just to have a job that I could go to, make the money that I need to make, and then come home and not think about it anymore. And what I thought business is that, okay, if you have a business, you're going to be stressed out all the time. You're going to be worried about money. You're not going to have stability. And I didn't want that, because I wanted to be able to compartmentalize my life. I wanted to be able to compartmentalize business, set it aside at the end of the day, and just focus on my family, focus on hobbies, focus on friends. And it felt to me, from just knowing other business owners, growing up, my dad was a business owner, still is. It felt like, well, business is just something that can just suck so much of your life away. So many business people, online or that I knew, worked 14, 16 hours a day and just barely made it in a lot of cases. And I didn't want that. I didn't want a life where I'm going to be grinding away to just barely make ends meet. For me, it felt like, well, it seems like there's more stability in just having a job and going out, working 8 hours, coming home, but then being able to set all that aside. I think for a lot of people, just with where the economy's been the past couple of years, that perceived stability has actually shown that it's not that stable. Big companies lay off people all the time. So it doesn't matter how good you are at your job. If the company decides they're going to cut 10,000 people and you end up on that list, they're going to let you go. And so I actually think there's a false certainty, a false stability in that mindset. But anyways, so when I got into business ownership, I had to overcome some fears. And one of those fears was that business was just going to consume me, that it was going to become something that is just this stressor that's constantly in the back of my mind, something that I'm not able to escape. But I actually have found that I've been able to compartmentalize to some extent. Now, I'm also always on in a sense, because customers could always call me. There could always be something that goes wrong at a job. But I really, if it's not an emergency, I turn the phone off, put it aside on the weekends. I'm just focused on my family. Again, today's Saturday, but I'm kind of making up for a day that I took off. But anyways, I think that business ownership doesn't have to be a grind set. I think that if you prioritize rightly, you can allow your business to be a means to an end. And that end can be more time with your family. It can be extra money for savings. It can be a way for you to turn a hobby or a passion of yours into a career, something that can actually make you money. So I think that there's a lot of opportunities that business ownership offers you, but it is important to make sure that you actually own your business and your business doesn't own you. For me, something that I find helpful Might sound morbid to some of you, but I like to meditate on death, the fact that I'm going to die, and what do I want to leave behind. And I think that growing, a huge successful business at the expense of my family is not something that I want to leave behind. That's not a legacy that's worth leaving behind. But if when I die, I can say, I had lots of time for my family. I had lots of time that I spent investing in my kids when they were young, when they were growing up, and they actually had memories with me. That's what I want. I want my kids to be able to grow up and say, dad actually had time for me. He didn't just spend all his time on his business or his hobbies, but he actually had time for me. And I actually think a business can be a really good way to have time for your kids. I think that if you approach it rightly, there are ways to go about building a business that isn't going to consume all your time, but it's actually going to give you time. It's going to give you freedom. And so one of my goals with this channel is to share some of those things that I've learned, and I'm still learning. I've only been in business ownership for a little over a year, but I feel like I have learned a lot in that time, and I'd love to help other business owners and other contractors learn how to take back their time. If you're one of those contractors who feels like you're only making it because you're working 60 plus hours a week, I want to say, hey, I think there's a way that you can work half of that and still make a good income. Maybe not as much as you're making right now, but still have your needs met. And so if you want to learn more about that, if that interests you, press like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more content.